So, it's been a hot minute. It has legit been a hot minute since I made a video. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. So much has happened in the past month since I've posted. I got a new job. I started working earlier this month, and I basically rerouted my whole life. I moved from basically the one side of the city all the way to the other, and started at this new job, and it honestly has been the best decision that I've made thus far. 2020, new beginnings, new start, new me. I was so unhappy at my previous job. I'd stay there for 3 years, and I'd gotten myself into a rut. You know what I mean? And so much had happened. So much had happened. I think emotionally, psychologically, I think I had just been beaten down so much because I was getting like a lot of harassment and bullying at that old place, and it was time to start new. It was time to start afresh. Look, I mean, yes, money is important, and earning a good living is important, but you can't do it at the expense of your own personal well-being. And I was just in a point where I had just I just had enough. I was done with all of that negative, toxic energy, and I needed to put myself in a new place. I had to get out of the house that I was living in. I had to get out of that space that I was living in. Look, now I've worked in different places, and I've worked and excelled in different places, and I've been to university and been bullied because I was trans. So I was used to these types of experiences, but just because you're used to something doesn't mean it's good or it's healthy. I'm a strong believer that if you are not happy in the current place that you're in, run. Do not walk for the nearest exits. Jump out of the window and learn how to fly on the way down. Honestly, like, my own personal well-being meant way more to me than any check ever could. So obviously, when I started this new job, I was so used to people being unnecessary. I was so used to like harassment and bullying within the work environment that I didn't go into this new job with the expectation that everybody's going to love me or accept me. I just went in and I was like, you know what, this is a new start, it's a new beginning. I'm just going to focus on the training in hand and focus at being the best version of me that I can possibly be in this current space. And look, I feel like anywhere you go, if you worry about what people are going to think, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time because, number one, people are going to talk about you. Like, you cannot stop anyone from saying anything out of their mouth. You know what I mean? And number two, people are going to people. People are going to people, and there's nothing you can do about it. But when you work on yourself, when you love yourself, when you encourage yourself, they can throw a 10-foot pole at you and that shit's just going to bounce off. So I went into this new job and I was like, I'm just going to go in, focus on the training. Lo and behold, I start to make friends, or people actually were nice to me and like polite and friendly and went out of their way to talk to me. And I wasn't expecting that. I honestly wasn't. I honestly wasn't. And I did the training for 2 days. Loved everybody that was in there. And then I started a bit later than everybody else. So I walked into like the canteen of my new job, and this girl across the room like sees me and she's like, "Yes, bitch!" And she like runs towards me. Now my immediate reaction is I'm like, Like, who is she talking to? Because I'm like, there's no way she's that excited to see me. But she moves in closer, and I'm kind of like, and she throws her arms up and she like hugs me. And I was like, oh my God. I felt so rude about my reaction because she was like coming at me with 100%, and I'm on 5% battery level, and I'm like, so she gives me this big hug, and then we go sit down where everybody else is sitting. And it was everyone from my training group, and they all like gave me hugs, and they were like, we're so excited that you're here. We're so excited that you're starting today. We were talking about you the other day that you're starting today. And I genuinely was floored. I genuinely was floored. Never have I ever received a reception like that. So for people to be genuinely happy to see me was just kind of like, even my own family isn't happy to see me. You know what I mean? So I start this new job, and like everyone's super friendly. Everyone is super, super polite. And I think for me, being trans, like, I do understand and I recognize that I have some level of passing privilege, and that I can walk into a space and people immediately read me as female. I recognize that, but it doesn't mean that I don't have dysphoria. I still have immense dysphoria, and when I walked into this new job, it became very evident that my coworkers don't know about my team. And it's one of like the things that I hate the most about like being trans is when somebody meets you and they embrace you, and they are, you know, they celebrate your femininity, and they accept you as you are in front of them. And then when they find out that you're in fact trans, then they kind of turn on you. And I've had that happen to me before. So I walked into this new situation with everyone being super nice to me, like treating me the way you're supposed to treat another human being. You know what I mean? And after a week, I was talking to my one close friend, and I told her that I was trans, and she had no idea. So, but she was super sweet. She was super sweet. And my other friend, I told her about my YouTube channel. I told two of my friends about my YouTube channel. And then that's how they found out that I was trans, through YouTube. But it was it's still kind of weird because, yes, you know, obviously you want to be seen as who you really are on the inside, and you want to be read as female and be treated as such. But when you walk into a space and people don't know who you are, and when you walk into a space, there's this nervousness that you're going to get caught out. There's this nervousness that you're going to get outed. And I've had experiences where I've been outed before, and I've seen how the very same people who are so sweet and loving towards you can just turn in a heartbeat. Now, obviously, all of my like supervisors and managers, they all know about my tea. They all know, especially the guy that I report to, because he processed my documents, you know, and they obviously had to process my ID, and it still has the male marker, so on the system, and they all know. They all know. Everyone in management knows. And I know that they know because I know that they know because a couple of them, when they had first met me, you know, were very normal and very friendly and whatever. And then when I walked in again, and they looked at me, they gave me this sort of like expression. There's this look that people give you when they're trying to find the male features in your face. Like when somebody tells you that a person is trans, sometimes like you'll almost like look for indicators in their body. So I walk into this office, and there were these two managers, and I remember the one guy looking at me and kind of like, almost as to like try and see if he could pick up any male characteristics in my body. So when he gave me that look, I just knew there's something in your gut when somebody's clocking you that just lets you just feel it. But everybody else that I work with doesn't know, and it kind of shows me how, like, this is how people are supposed to treat you. They're supposed to treat you like you're a human being. They're supposed to be nice to you. They're supposed to, at the very least, be civil towards you. And I hadn't had that for so many years. I'd had so much hostility. But on the flip side, it almost feels like you're being forced back into the closet. Like, I'm one of those people that are very, very open about who I am. I don't hide it. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know what I'm thinking and feeling just from looking at me. And I'm very proud about, the fact that I have trans experience, and I'm very open to people about it. And starting at this new place was weird because you almost feel like there's a clock. Like literally the timer is going tick, 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 tick. And in a couple of minutes somebody's gonna out you or you're gonna be clocked. If and when that does happen, I know this. I'm strong, I'm beautiful, and I'm wonderful. And the reason I'm so proud of the fact that I'm trans, or the reason I love the fact that I'm trans, is because it's taught me strength. It's taught me to have strength beyond my own. And I know that whatever situation I face, whatever situation I encounter, I know that I have the tools necessary to help me deal with it. You get stronger and stronger every day, I promise. And I know in this journey, like, you get broken down so many times, and people talk about you, and people bully you, and people harass you. But as this is all happening, it refines you. It turns you literally into gold. And you can walk into any situation with that confidence and with that strength. And you know that whether or not they clock me, whether or not they out me, I know I'm going to be fine. You know what I mean? So it's just weird. It's just weird right now. And I'm not, in as much as I'm open about who I am, I'm not going to actively go up to everybody that I work with and be like, I'm trans. No. But it's weird to feel like I'm in a closet again. It's just strange. It's just strange. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. There's so much that's happened. So much that I want to talk about. But obviously I don't want to make these videos like 2 hours long. So, more updates. Have some juicy story times, girl. And I just hope that you guys are having a fantastic start to this decade. It's 2020, bitch. 20 plenty.